Hello, I'm Valentina Isis, the goddess of astrology, and welcome to this episode of Love and Relationships for the sign of Sagittarius. Now, this works if you have your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in the sign of Sagittarius, or your Venus and Mars in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is how does a Sagittarius love? What are their needs in relationships? What can you expect of having a relationship with a Sagittarius person? And how is it that you can manage their relationship on your favor? And of course, how can you make your Sagittarius fall madly in love with you? So let's get to it. Okay, so first we're going to start with some basic traits of the Sagittarius sign. And Sagittarius is a very expansive sign. It is ruled by Jupiter, which Jupiter is the most expansive planet, is the most benefic planet. Whatever it touches, it makes it grow, it makes it expand. So these people are very expansive. They love feeling that their horizons are being pushed to their limits. They love feeling the freedom. They're very, very much about freedom lovers. Which makes them feel like they can extend their horizons to many, many places. Now, always in motion, these people love to be busy, they love to be doing things, they love to have something to do. High-spirited, very optimistic and idealistic. This is the sign that you can count on to always boost your optimism, to always pick you up and lift your mood and inspire you. Also very blunt. They're known for being brutally honest and brutally blunt to the point that it could be a little bit uncomfortable, but they very much are about honesty, and they're very much about leaving things very clear and out in the open, just showing their cards on the table and not really hide anything or be secretive with things. They're very trustworthy. They're very eager and joyous to just go into the world because they have such high ideals and high philosophy in life. They're always eager to go and expand, to go see what life can bring them. So they have a really, really positive energy for anything that has to do with the expansion of horizons. They're very lucky because of this, because they naturally have this energy of being optimistic about life, feeling very grateful and thankful for everything that they have. This brings them a lot of luck. This brings them a lot of good energy because they understand that whatever you put out into the world comes back to you tenfold. So if you put out optimism, gratefulness, happiness, then those things come back to them tenfold. They are extravagant. They do love living large. They love living big. They love having extravagant things. They just love having the feeling of no boundaries, that that everybody here can have fun, drinks on me, let's just all enjoy ourselves. Very enchanting, very charming, very flashy. They do love to philosophize and talk about very deep conversations. They're very adaptable. They're very versatile. They can really handle a lot of things at once. They are people that need a lot of stimulation. They're very busy, so they can't just do one thing at a time. They're very scholarly. They usually love to be very well educated. They like to have high degrees. They like to feel that they can talk about anything and that they have the knowledge and the wisdom. They're wisdom seekers. They're truth seekers. This is really something that they really, really love. They sometimes can be impulsive because they're still a fire sign, so there's an energy of impulsibility. And because they feel so lucky and they feel so optimistic, they just kind of go into it feeling like everything's going to be okay, guys. Let's just go for it. They're very intuitive, and they have good judgment of people and others. They have really good judgment because they like to see the depthness and they like to see the goodness of people. So they have good judgment, good character. They're musical. They're very well cultural. They're very cultured. Very independent. These people love their independence, love to be independent of anything, because they just love to have that feeling of freedom. They love to have that feeling of like, I can go and do whatever as I please, and I can do it and nothing's holding me back. There's no limits to life. They understand very deeply that the only limits that you put is limits that you put on yourself. They're very progressive and they're explorers. They love adventures. These are the people that always have an adventure, always want to do something, always want to be up and going, always want to be exploring. They're very inspirational. These are the people that inspire you. They can be preachers. They can be They can be teachers, they can be philosophers, they can be spokespeople that, go into a crowd and really inspire people to do their best. And they're very spiritual nonetheless. They have an energy of spiritualism because they do rule the house, the ninth house of religion, the ninth house of faith, the ninth house of higher learning and expansive mind. So they definitely enjoy these things. They love to philosophize. So if you ever want to have a really good conversation with a Sagittarius person, the only thing you need to do is really get in touch with the philosophizing and the abstract thought of life, and they are completely all yours. Now, in their relationships, the key word in relationships for these people is companionship. They love to feel companionship. They love to feel that we're two people here that come together not to own each other, not to suppress each other, not to take each other's freedoms away and have all these duties around relationships, but it's a companionship where we come and share ourselves together. We come and share our experiences together. These people love to travel. So if they can find a travel buddy to be with, this is like major key to them, for them to feel fulfilled and for them to feel like, okay, we can do this. So they're not very much into people who are very timid or people who are very afraid or people who are afraid to, I don't want to go to that country because I can't speak their language, or I'm afraid of heights, I'm afraid of the airplane. Like, these are things that, no, they major turnoffs for Sagittarius people. Now, the females, this is naturally a very masculine sign. They have a lot of masculinity. It is a fire sign, so fires are usually masculine. So female Sagittarius have a very masculine mind, and you will see them hang out with more guys than girls. They just do not like that whole stereotype feminine thing of like gossiping and, we just want to look good and we take 3-5 hours to get ready. Like, they're not like that. Like, Sagittarius people, and also men, they're the type of people that they're very good looking because they have they're the half man, half horse, so their bodies are very athletic, and they usually are the type of people that can put whatever on and they feel good. As long as they feel good, they look good in it, and they know this. So the female Sagittarius people have a very distinct male component to them. They really feel like I'm not going to be playing the role of the subordinate woman in this relationship. This is not how it's going to go. We're both going to have freedom. We're both going to have equal rights, and we're both going to have our ability to move around and do as we please. So this is something very important. And also for male Sagittarius, this is something very important. You don't want to be a clingy person with a Sagittarius. You don't want to be a possessive person with a Sagittarius. Now, independence is a must-have, and and they need to have a separate identity at all costs. It doesn't matter if they get involved in a marriage, in a very deep commitment. You will always see the Sagittarius having their own independent life. Even if it's a female that ends up getting married, she will have her own business from the home or whatever it is. But there's always a slight independence. And they always protect this. They always protect this because this is their sense of freedom. Their sense that, like, okay, yes, here I come. I'm gonna come and be part of this whole marriage situation. But as long as I get my freedom and my space, we're all good. Also, they do very good with long distance relationship. These are the people that travel a lot. So they do very good with long distance relationship. These are the type of people that the more freedom you give them, the more loyalty they'll give you back. And it's kind of like, it's kind of paradoxical, but it really works with these people. The moment that they feel that they want to be controlled or possessed or, put into a box, this is when you can start sensing your Sagittarius starting to slip away and looking into the other grass that's always greener in the other side, and maybe starting to flirt with other people. But the more freedom you give them and the trust of like, baby, you can go and do as you please. I'll be here. I'll wait for you. I'm always here for you. The more sense of loyalty they have within themselves, the more sense of like, okay, they have given me what I want, so I'm not going to go and mess this up. But if they start feeling, constriction, you can see them to be, to start going into another type of plane of the relationship. The children love Sagittarius people. They do, and they do very good with children. Usually, when you see a home of a Sagittarius mother or a Sagittarius father, it's like a palace for their children. They literally give their children whatever freedom they want, because children to them reminds them of that fresh energy that they so desire, that fresh, curious, freedom-loving energy that they desire. So they are not people to be constricting their kids. They like to open them up to opportunities, open them up to experiences. So they give them a lot of free reins of exploration of themselves and the world. And this makes them, this makes them be, this is what makes them feel like to be a good mother, a good father. It almost seems like the big sister type of energy or the big brother type of energy. The parents will always have this energy towards their children. So there's not like an authority figure, because they don't do well with, somebody telling them what to do. So they're not going to really do that to their children at all. They're not the self-sacrificing people. They're not people to be, I'm going to sacrifice my happiness and my freedom for this relationship and for you. They're not that type of people. So they're not going to be self-sacrificing anything, and do not expect them to be self-sacrificing their life or their things for you. They're not really going to be doing that. They always have to have activities, okay? So if you're a homebody, this is not that good. You want to do things, you want to hang out, you want to do adventures. These people want to be doing a lot of activities. This is really what makes them feel good. Also, Sagittarius are not the people to necessarily be super mushy-wushy with their feelings. Like if somebody comes to them and tells them, oh my God, I've been going through so much a tough time and I'm crying and this, the Sagittarius person is not going to be crying with you, is not going to be pitying you, is not going to be trying to dry your tears away. The Sagittarius person is always going to try to inspire you and show you how much love and faith they have for you, and how much you should see that in yourself. So they're very much about inspiration. They're not so much about, covering the situation with a bandage. So girls Sagittarius women have more male friends, because they just do not, they sometimes can't relate too much with that whole feminine, gossipy, subordinated, especially if it's that typical stereotypical type of woman that society wants you to be. They don't really go along with that. But nowadays, Sagittarius are starting to have more a variety of friends, because these roles have been kind of falling apart in our society. So they're starting to open up more to other people and other girls and other men. Love to them means sex. So they're very, very sexual creatures. So these people really need to have good sex in order for them to feel loved. And romance to them is the mystery of the one-night stand. So that's really what romance is all about. Like, oh, we have this fling and, maybe I never see you again. But love to them is sex. And they definitely need to have this in order for them to feel happy. And love comes out of friendship. So they definitely like to create a friendship with their loved ones. They like to feel this energy of friendship. They're not the type of people to give their heart away to somebody that wasn't a friend first. So friendship to them is something very, very crucial. And in relationships, their relationships really depend on mutual honesty and high level of communication, okay? Because they're so blunt and they're so honest and they're so in your face. These are not the type of people that want to deal with any passive aggressive energies, any secrecy, any sort of hiding, situations. They don't deal good with these things. They want somebody to be mutually honest with them and that communicates to them. Sagittarius people are the people that will understand everything, okay? Even if you messed up, even if you did something wrong, and you're able to communicate, look, these are the reasons why I did this. These are the reasons why I ended up in this position and I ended up doing these things, and I know they weren't that good, but I'm letting you know this is what was going through my mind, and that's the reason why I made this choice. They can understand that. So as long as you communicate to them and where is it that you're coming from, they will definitely forgive you, and they will definitely work with you, and they will definitely, understand you. They have a very strong energy for this, because usually Sagittarius people are the ones that are always being asked for help. They are people that usually are always giving their advice. the centaur that they are is actually Chiron, and Chiron in mythology was the wounded healer that can heal everybody but not necessarily heal themselves. So Sagittarius people have these things that they know how to heal others, they know what to tell others, they know how to inspire others, but sometimes they don't have that for themselves. They don't have somebody to do that for them. Sex is religion to them. They really are passionate about sex because they have a very animalistic side about them. They don't condemn the animalistic side of life. They actually believe it to be sacred, because to them animals are sacred. Animals are totems. So this sexual connection is something of a religion. It's something of a very, very deep energy that combines both your higher mind and your lower mind into one, where you find your divine self. Their relationships are based on loyalty. If you've been with a Sagittarius that hasn't been loyal, it's because when they're not loyal and when they're not wanting to be loyal, is because that's just a reaction, a self-defense reaction to regain their freedom back. Okay? So if you had a sort of bad experience with a Sagittarius that did not, that cheated on you or did something behind your back or whatever it was mainly a statement of him or her regaining their freedom back and their independence back. So if you give them the freedom and the independence that they seek, they will be loyal. They will be loyal for you and they will be there as long as she gets her freedom. They don't have a monogamous mentality, okay? They don't have a monogamous spirit. And because of this, they do like to interact with many people, but that doesn't mean that they're sleeping around with everybody. It's just that they want to have the freedom of creating intimate relationships with their friends or with other people, that they can have a true connection and that they don't have a partner that is kind of being like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Who's that person? Why are you talking to them? Blah, 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 blah. Like, they don't really want to have those energies. They don't want to be dealing with those fights. Usually they are the dominant energy in the relationship, whichever it is, if it's a male or a female, they are the dominant energy in the relationship, and they set their terms for the relationship. And if you don't like the terms, then they don't have a problem of just going somewhere else. So their terms is, I need my freedom, I need my space, I need to be able to come and go as I please, and I don't want to have any questionnaires on instigations when I come back, and I don't want to feel like you don't trust me, and I don't want to feel like I constantly have to prove myself that I'm being loyal to you. They don't want to be dealing with any of that. So they set their terms, and according to how you feel about them, either you take it or you leave it. But they're very much like that and very blunt and very much in your face. So Sagittariuses can be a very adventurous, freedom-seeking lover. So if this is what you're looking for, this could be a perfect match for you. Okay? I really hope that this was of help for you to understand yourself a little bit better in the way that you love and the needs that you have in love. And for the people that are in love with Sagittarius, this is a way for you to understand your loved one in a deeper way and to be able to actually understand what is it that they're looking for. So I hope this was a moment of realization, and I hope this was of help to you. So remember, I definitely suggest for you guys to check your moon and your ascendant sign. And remember, this is just a very, very general reading. If you want to have a more detailed reading about your relationship, your compatibility with someone, or what is the best relationship that you can look for, you can always make an appointment with me. We can do a consultation of love and compatibility at the link here below. Alright guys? Alrighty guys, I will be seeing you in the next one. Love you very much and see ya!